Hey guys. Hey guys, John Mark Dugan here. So somebody said they sent me a new tune for my intro. I think that's what they meant. Let's see. Who said that? Well, anyway, somebody did. So, Sean said, hey, John, made you a little theme. Send it to your mail. But I don't know what mail he sent it to. I looked in two of my mails. I can't remember what other mails that I have. So, yeah. So let me know which one you're talking about. Anyways, so we have something very interesting for you. Yesterday I got a message on Signal asking for an email account, a secure email account that I've never used before. So I made one. I sent one back. And this morning when I woke up, I had a nice little message in my inbox. A message and a couple of photographs. Now, I can't show you the photographs, but I plan to... Hello, Irene. I plan to show them to Thomas Roper. He was busy today, so he couldn't join me. But I'm going to show them to him. So I'm gonna read you this letter. It's quite interesting. Gotta find it here. Boom. And it said, oh wait, where the hell is it? Give me a sec. Sorry. Well. All right. So, let's see. Dear Mr. Dugan, I write this letter in hopes you might share it. I cannot share the information myself because it will be detrimental to my career and my life. I'm sending you this photo as proof that I was there, as well as a copy of my identification, which you may share this with one other journalist that you trust, but not to leave your possession. It is vital you do not share this with anyone else, and that you never use this email account again. You may read this letter verbatim as it is written. Okay, so here is the letter as it is written. I had a leading administration role in the June Baltops 22 military exercises near Bornholm Island, Denmark. I can't give you my exact title because it will allow my identity to be revealed. Of course, I already know his identity and I know what his title was, but I can't say for the purpose of this letter, so just making that clear to you. There are some unusual details involving a group of U.S. Navy sailors from Naval Strike and Support Forces, NATO, or Strike for NATO, who had arrived from Stockholm. While it seems strange at the time, in retrospect, now things look outright nefarious. Let me explain. Forgive me in advance if I get any of the terminology wrong. The military of my country may use different words. Let me just make sure that I am live here. Yes, I am live. Okay, good. Sorry, but I have to say that your shirt is not that funny. Explorer J, I'm sorry, but to show you the photograph, we'll show you this individual. I can't do it. But it does show a photograph of him at these exercises, and there is a photo of his identification, listing him as a member of a foreign armed forces. So that's all I can give to you. Sorry. Regarding the shirt, I'll explain it after. So here we go. And I wanted to get Thomas in here so he could verify the photo, but he'll do it a little later, probably when he gets back to St. Petersburg. So here we go. Let me go back to it. I had a lead administration role in the June Baltops 22 military exercises near Bornholm Island, Denmark. I can't give you my exact title because it will allow my identity to be revealed. There were some unusual details involving a group of U.S. Navy sailors from Naval Strike and Support Forces NATO, or Strike for NATO, who had arrived from Stockholm. While it seemed strange at the time, in retrospect, now things look outright nefarious. Let me explain. Forgive me in advance if I get any of the terminology wrong. The military of my country may use different words. I can't be specific in my job, but I work coordination. I work coordination for dive teams. The English isn't perfect, so excuse me. I work coordination for dive teams for underwater missions with various militaries in the NATO alliance. On June 15th, the day of one particular exercise, I was working coordinating certain aspects of the exercise. I must be vague in this. A U.S. military helicopter arrived carrying a group of men who were supposed to be U.S. Navy anti-mine personnel. They exited, unloaded their gear, and met with both the U.S. Navy Vice Admiral and a group of American men in plain clothes that had arrived a few hours earlier. We all suspected them to be some sort of intelligence officers. After a short conversation that I could not hear because of the sound of the helicopters, they approached their briefing. I found it rather strange that they were from the U.S. Navy. My first thought was that they looked like a group of terrorists, not anyone from the U.S. Navy. The other groups we had from many of the military branches had some sort of standards. Haircuts, for example. Not only did these men have wild hair that would have breached any civilized nation's code of military standards, but they had facial hair as well. As I said, they looked more like Middle Eastern terrorists. None of these men wore identification tags around their necks. The other thing I found odd was that they claimed to be there to search for underwater mines. However, they lacked the equipment for such exercise. The equipment consisted of the latest Navy issue deep diving underwater rebreathers and some small hard case boxes. We call them pelicans. Their job was to take a rubber boat to a predetermined location, search for anti-ship mines, and return to shore with their findings. Usually, in such an endeavor, they have long metal detection equipment, but that was absent from their collection of gear. A detail I thought to be very strange here was that while the other mine EOD teams wore traditional scuba gear with tanks and such, this group was wearing state-of-the-art helium rebreather helmets and dive suits. Though I have never seen one up close, I'm quite certain these were the Mk-29 systems made for deep dives and to this day remain classified. My country's military wouldn't even be able to afford the helium for these, let alone the suits themselves. The suits certainly would not be required for locating mines that sit in just a few meters below the surface. They took their boats offshore, not to the area where the simulated mines were placed, but to an entirely different location. My colleague, who was monitoring different team locations, made an offhand joke about how the U.S. Navy had gotten lost and was 2,000 meters from their target location. They exited their boat wearing their rebreathers, and they disappeared under the water for over 6 hours. There is no self-contained underwater gear that I know of that can keep a diver under for 6 hours. With the new military systems, with the newest military systems, 3 or 4 max is possible if the diver isn't exerting themselves. After a few hours, we began to get concerned and we contacted the coordinator for the U.S. 6th Fleet, which assured us that everything was fine. They were in contact to ignore it and not to make any reports about it. After the exercise was over and they returned, almost all of their pelicans were missing. They did not stay for any pleasantries. They had a short conversation with the civilian people from the U.S., got on a waiting helicopter, and left. The civilians they were talking to also left, but on a different helicopter. Their mission was later marked as completed successfully, and even though they were never near the intended target location. All right, so this is strange, right? So this individual goes on to say, in retrospect, here are my suspicions. The diver met with a small waiting submersible that shuttled them to the area of the pipeline. The explosives required for such an act wouldn't have fit in their gear, so I suspect they were carrying survey and locating equipment that would be used to mark where the explosives needed to be placed. Once they examined the pipeline, marked the proper coordinates, they would have time to examine the data with explosive engineers, return to the site at a later time, and place required charges to be detonated on a timer or remotely. Thank you. And that was it. Very interesting letter. Very, very interesting. And I think the most interesting detail about this, well, there's several interesting details about this. One happens to be that they look so ragtag. Now, you know, the U.S. Navy, they've always had kind of a reputation for being kind of ragtag looking, but I don't think to that point that they are describing. So, let's see. Doop. I'm gonna go back and read some comments. Oh, Pine Mimba 1212. Thank you so much. Mac Galloway said, "Do you want a toupee?" No, thank you. If I need one, I'll borrow one from your mom. Let's see. Let's see. Please keep reading. Let's see. If the photo is done by a phone, check the metadata. It takes 2 minutes if it's in the raw image. Okay. Wait, where are you now? Moscow or St. Petersburg? I am in Moscow. And Thomas is in Moscow too, but he's got to leave for St. Petersburg. So somebody just said my mic is pretty low. Does my mic sound low? Shouldn't be. I just want to just double check my settings here. 1, 2, 3. Well, it shouldn't be low. So if it's low, I don't know what to tell you. Let's see. Does anybody else think that my mic sounds low? Tell me. SD said, "John, your new format is brilliant and fresh. The intel is always top-notch. Thank you for what you're doing." Oh, yeah, and that's for Pimbea. Thank you so much. Josh said, "Plainclothes Americans equals Delta, period." Could be, or it could be CIA. And Josh says, or SEAL Team 6. Well, I have a feeling, okay? I have a feeling that the ragtag group of Navy guys, with the scraggly hair and the facial hair, they probably were SEAL Team 6, okay, or one of the SEAL teams. So because when they go in, they have to blend in, and so that was the first thing that I thought. Global gauge. So is that the UUV thing or? Not sure what you mean. The UUV. No. A pelican is like a hard case. It's a hard case. Um, and what's weird in Europe, things are kind of known by their brand names. Like if you ask for tape in Russia, they don't have a word for tape. You say scotch. Okay? Scotch is a word for tape in Russia. Why? Because Scotch is like the major brand. And probably yeah, so people just called these hard boxes Pelicans because I think it was Pelican that came out with them. Let's see here. Paul Walker said, on the day after Dark Docs released a SEAL team delivery system in the new vehicle that allows 4 team members to deploy with mines. On the day after Dark Docs, I'm not sure what you mean. I don't know what Dark Docs is, so I'll have to take a look. So, Klaus Schwab said Polish special forces did it, assisted by U.S. Navy assets. Look, so the letter made it clear that they didn't have enough gear to keep all these explosives. Okay, there was a lot of explosives done, but I think the first thing they probably would have done is they would have wanted to locate the pipeline and take a look at where to put this stuff. So who knows? What this stuff was. It could have been locator beacons. It could have been all sorts of stuff. Let's see. Hope that news isn't so wrong like the one about the Chinese military arrived. Well, maybe. That was just a video that I shared with you guys. Sorry. Let's see. Yes. Keebler says, show the love, smash that like. That's right. Smash the like. Let's see, what else do I have here? No. No. No, that's for a bad joke. Okay, anyways. Oh, Pine Mamba 1. Hey, thank you so much. Amazing. Thank you very much. Rhoda J, it's a high pressure line. It wouldn't take much. Well, that's actually not true. Because the high pressure line is equalized by the pressure on the outside of the pipe by the water. You got to remember it sits. I was talking to Thomas to this before because I wanted Thomas to check into some of the details. But it sits, I think he said 80 or 100 meters below the surface. Okay? Now, that's a hell of... that's a hell of a lot of pressure. Aletta said, so what is the premise of these Navy people? And again, what was the purpose of exploding things? We're talking about the Nordstream Pipeline. Or, in the words of, was it, who said it? Was it the press secretary? The Nordstream Pipeline. We're talking about the Nordstream Pipeline. So, and the is that a pistol on your desk? A pistol on my desk? It kind of looks like it. No, it's a remote control. One for the TV, one for the lights. which I forgot to turn on. There we go. There's that backlight. See? But it might make my head too shiny. Yeah. Okay, Sean. Sean, there's some kind of problem with my email, my Bad Wolf email. I don't know what's up with it. So maybe send it to my jmdgn@outlook.com email. Let me just look at something real quick. Yeah. I want to see. So, and it might have been just like a server error that might be fixed, but who knows? But yeah, I'm getting an internal server error, so I'm not getting anything from that email. Sorry. So send it to jmdgn@outlook.com. jmdgn@outlook.com. What else we got here? Yeah. The pipeline is encased. It's incredibly thick steel and very thick concrete. It's meant to be able to withstand an entire anchor from dropping down onto it, like from a huge ship. Okay? So it is made to withstand that. So that is a tough son of a gun. Had to be the Navy SEALs. It's their specialty. But are they stupid following orders like this? Put their loved ones, families, friends like that, risk of death in a nuclear war also. You know, they follow those orders. So Jittery Hobo said it's a few hundred feet under the water. Yeah, if it's 200 to 300 feet underwater, then these what did he call them? Hold on. Give me just a moment. Some kind of deep diving underwater rebreather. MK29. In MK29, let's see if we have any specs on this MK29. MK29 rebreather depth. DEPTH. Wow. The U.S. Navy has begun pool testing of its new MK29 mixed gas rebreather designed to conserve helium during deep sea dives below 170 feet. So that is a long way. And that's from 2018. So no doubt that these are probably still in service. Let's see. The test dives took place at the Naval Surface Warfare Center in Panama City, Florida, where it was developed under a project sponsored by the Office of Naval Research Global Tech Solutions Program. Rebreathers are a form of breathing apparatus that has been used for decades, using a chemical scrubber to withdraw carbon dioxide and return it to the wearer. For underwater work, they are mainly used by special force dive teams like British Special Boat Services and the U.S. Navy Sea, Air, Land teams, SEALs, were by underwater natural history photographers because such rigs don't produce bubbles that might give away the diver's location or startle the local sea life, so they're quiet and people can't see the bubbles from underwater. However, the new MK29 is designed to solve a different problem. Conventional rebreathers use a mixture of oxygen and nitrogen like scuba gear and are only intended for use down to about 150 feet. And like scuba, the mixture becomes increasingly dangerous the deeper one goes, requiring deep compression procedures to prevent the onset of the bends, or risking nitrogen narcosis, where nitrogen concentration becomes toxic and the diver can literally become drunk on air. I know about this. I'm a scuba diver. Now I am, Patty. But yeah, but let's see. Below 170 feet, we're in the realm of what is called technical diving, where oxygen nitrogen mixture is replaced by oxygen helium or more exotic mixtures. Pure oxygen would be immediately toxic at great depth, so it has to be mixed with something. Helium, due to its tiny molecules and inert nature, is better than nitrogen because it seeps in and out of the body tissues more readily and doesn't produce the same narcotic effect. However, helium has its drawbacks, making one's voice sound like Donald Duck. It carries off heat at 6 times the rate as air, so the diver must wear a heating apparatus or risk freezing to death in temperatures that would be perfectly comfortable for a wetsuit diver. Interesting. And reducing this bulk is the rationale behind the M29 rebreather. Technical diving requires massive amounts of helium that must be supplied by air hoses from pumps on a surface support vessel. The current practice in the U.S. and other navies is to use the flyaway mixed gas system, which vents the diver's exhaled breath into the water. This means every dive requires massive tanks of helium that are expensive, hard to transport, and are a general logistical nightmare. As in the shallow water rebreathers, the MK29 filters out carbon dioxide using a scrubber and cycles the clean mix back with a slight oxygen top-up. According to the ONR, I'm not sure, Office of Naval Research, I think that is, the MK29 decreases helium requirements by approximately 80%, says John Caperman. Divers can perform more dives with the same amount and bring less helium. In addition to those benefits, the prototype showed that the rebreather allows for reduced breathing noise thanks to new 3D printed titanium tubing connected to the hosings to the breathing manifold. Blah, blah, blah. Testing of the MK29 will continue, and the Navy hopes to issue the rig throughout the fleet next year. All right, so it's good for 300 feet. Where did I see that? No. Below 150 feet. Where is... I want to see where... I'm trying to see... Well, below... I mean... Yeah. Let's see. Let's try... Let's open some of these just to see where we can find if there's a max depth. Well, anyways, below 170 feet, that's pretty damn deep anyways. So who knows what that is? It could be 200 feet, it could be 300 feet, it could be 400 feet or even more. Yeah, don't know what below, but maybe it's like the submarines and they keep that stuff classified. So it's very interesting, though. Very interesting. Let's go back to some comments here. Moss. Come on, Blex. Mossad? I doubt it. People can free dive deeper than that. Yeah, people can free dive very, very deep, okay? But they take one breath, they go down, they come right back up, okay? They go down on a lead sled, and then they shoot back to the surface. We're talking about staying underwater for hours, okay? So, yeah. Let's see. They use sub-drones. Maybe. Klaus Schwab says MK Ultra 29. That's funny. Extract. So Jittery Hobo said Monkeyworks tracked an American P8 poison encircling and air refueling over Nordstream 2 for several hours the night it was destroyed. It was confirmed. It was configured not to be tracked. Then how did they track it? I'm just curious. If it was configured not to be tracked, how was it tracked? Is a rebreather the tank scuba divers use? No, a rebreather is like a big backpack, and it keeps everything contained. And when you exhale into it, it recycles the bubbles, so no bubbles come out. Oh, so somebody sent me $20. Thank you so much, Paul Baker. Can you ask someone from the Russian government to come on for a cute question and answer with foreign national citizens? It would be very cool and gain media attention to your channel. I can. I don't know if it's going to work, but I could, sure. Blex says, oy vey in helium voice. That's pretty fun. Hold on. I have this. Where would that be?
Oy vey. Is that what they sound like?
Okay, sorry. Subtitles may help for auto-translate. I use it sometimes to catch the narration if a link can't be shared. Let's see. Jackie says, do you prefer John and Mark? Well, neither. Let me explain how this came to be. When I was born, I was called John. And I don't know, when I was about 3 years old, like somehow my parents moved in with my grandparents for a little while. My dad's name was John, and my grandfather's name was John. So every time my mom would yell at me, John, everybody would just come running. So it was just easier just to call me by my middle name, Mark. But then I got to middle school. We moved to a new school in Florida. And when I got there, the teachers asked my name. They're like, John Dugan? I was like, yeah, but everybody calls me Mark. And teacher's like, no, we're calling you by your name. So they just started calling me by my John, right? By my first name, John. So my friends from high school call me John. My closest friends and family call me Mark. And everybody else happens to call me John. But you guys can call me whatever you want. For me, I answer to both. Yeah, so let's see. In June 2022, there was an exercise of NATO in the Baltic Sea called Baltops. The USS Kearsarge was there as well. Guess what they were training on? This ship has stayed to the end of September. Yes. You missed the first part of my live stream. It was about this exercise and some suspicious activity that took place June 15, 2022. So, let's see. Jackie, thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah. If you were called JD, you would think you were offered a whiskey. Yeah, maybe. But you know, my dad was always called JD. So Guacamole Kid, thank you so much. And you know, I'm gonna have to dig into this letter a little bit. I wanted Thomas to kind of dig into it too. Is it legit? Well, I can tell you that the guy's ID is legit, and the guy's photograph is legit. Whether or not the information inside is 100% legit, I don't know. I can't testify to that. But Thomas is going to be digging through some of the more technical aspects of this and seeing if any holes can be poked in this. And I encourage you guys to do it as well. And if not, you know, it would be very interesting. It would be very interesting indeed to know if holes can be poked into it or not. So consider conservative Tartar Tot says the other day I asked about how the currency change had affected you, but you didn't know what I meant. Apparently, Putin switched to gold-backed system, and China followed. Oh, I didn't know that. No, I had no idea whatsoever. Um, but the currency here, it's been very stable. We have not had any real inflation. Let me rephrase that. We have not had any inflation on domestic goods. Foreign goods, stuff from the U.S., we've had some inflation significantly, especially with like electronics and stuff. But other than that, like stuff from China, stuff from Russia, no, it doesn't. SG John, you and I know that the U.S. will either blame Russia or plausible deniability will kick in. Hey, it's weird, man. They've been all over the place. So, yeah, some people have blamed Russia, but a lot of people they outright will not will acknowledge it. Russia with Ronald says doesn't make sense. Seems fake. Russia with Ronald, please expound on that because I'm very curious. What doesn't make sense and what seems fake to you? You know, are there some details there that don't add up? So, and keep in mind that this person who sent it is a member of a military armed force. I certainly can't tell you which one. I probably shouldn't tell you the rank, so I'm just going to keep that to myself. But yeah, so I don't want to release any information on the guy. Let's see. Foodway Distribution said Lavrov at the UN mentioned that a few days ago with facts, videos entitled around 1:35 minutes, Russian press presented hard facts. The destruction of the Nordstream Pipeline is profitable to the United States. Well, we all knew that it was profitable to the United States. I mean, you know, you have Condoleezza Rice on there talking about how hold on, somebody keeps writing to me. Yeah. Writing that it would be good for American companies for Europe to switch to American natural gas. We had, was it Anthony Blinken who just said that now was a great opportunity to switch natural gas suppliers? I mean, yeah. Let's see. Gazprom already said they are able to repair it. Yeah, they can repair it. They just have to replace sections of the pipeline. It's not so easy, though. So, let's see. Mobilization should have been done months ago. You seriously need to check the metadata on that picture. It'll show you the location, time, etc. All right, Explorer J. I'm not sure how to check the metadata, but I will. Okay? I think there's an app I can get. I will check it, and the next time I have a live stream, I'll tell you my findings. I won't tell you an exact location because I can't be giving this person away. So, why Lynn 69? It isn't easy to drink too much booze now. You know so many people in Rusland. I want to thank you for your incredible good work you are doing. Thank you, Laney. I must admit I don't believe the whistleblower. His account doesn't sound right to me. Okay, what doesn't sound right? Okay, sounds perfectly plausible to me. Um, yeah. So, how hard can it be for intelligence officers to identify this guy after this story? Well, I think it won't be so easy. I mean, they had thousands of people at this exercise, so um, and people from all sorts of different military. So, um, Explorer J, easy. You can do it online. I am not going to be running these photographs through any external programs online. Who knows who's actually behind those programs that check it? Who knows where that data is being sent? Can't do it. Can't risk this person. So I will risk as much as they told me to risk, and that's it. Um, let's see. Richard Sanders says, "What was U.S. Aircraft 2 doing at the time? 1 PB anti-submarine aircraft and 1 tanker refueling aircraft." That's a good question. They turned on the new Baltic pipeline the very next day after Nord Stream 9 was destroyed. Pretty darn convenient timing. I agree. I agree. I think you just click Control for the metadata on a PC. I don't know how to do it on a Mac. SG says, John, any updates from the Ukrainian front? Nope, I haven't heard too much. Actually, I'm just getting over being sick. I've been sick for 3 days. That's why I haven't been on here. Um, Lady, we watched them for hours and concerned they never resurfaced. Okay, well, what's concerning about that? If they have their boat there and they haven't resurfaced and they contacted the 6th, what was it? The 6th. Hold on. I got to go back in the letter here. 6th. Let's see. Just give me a sec. I got to find this part again. Let's see. After a few hours, we began to get concerned. So it doesn't say that they were actually watching them. It just says they exited the boat wearing their rebreathers, and they disappeared under the water for over 6 hours. There is no self-contained underwater gear that I know of that can keep a diver under for 6 hours. With the newest military systems, 3 or 4 max is possible if the diver isn't exerting themselves. After a few hours, we began to get concerned, and we contacted the coordinator for the U.S. 6th Fleet, who assured us everything was fine, that they were in contact, to ignore it and not make any reports about it. So, this sounds totally normal. So, let's see. Dugan, better shut up and don't say anything about this guy. You want him put in prison. I'm not going to disclose. I disclosed only what he told me I could disclose. So I'm not disclosing what military he's from. I'm not disclosing the location of this guy. I'm not disclosing anything about that. So don't worry. Laney, they look like terrorists. Yeah. Well, what do you want? They got shaggy hair and beards. They do this sometimes when, like, the SEALs have to operate in places like Afghanistan or Iraq. When they're doing these special operations, running around, they have to be able to blend in. Okay, if you are running around in the Middle East and you don't have a beard, um, you stick out like a sore thumb. So, you know, I would imagine, I would imagine that if it's people like the SEALs or some other group, maybe Delta Force, that is running around like this, that they would want to be able to blend in. So let's see. Resist Ireland. Anyone see the metro chart with the gas cloud from Nordstream 1 and 2 hovering and moving back across Europe? We're all breathing it over here now. I didn't see it, no. Greetings from Hungary. Greetings. My dimension. Hello from. Where the hell did that go? Oh, damn. Ontario, Canada. Is the Turk stream in jeopardy now? I don't know. Do I have any Turkish speaking subscribers? I think I found YouTube editing UN speech of things the Turkish leader said in his speech, dropping words from the English translation I tried to use. I don't know. I don't know, maybe. Do I? Let me know. Let's see. Cui bono, who benefits? Is always a question to ask. Follow the money. Guilty enough party is easy to find. And I'll read this letter one more time afterwards, okay? So, like in 5 minutes, I'll read this letter again. So all you guys coming in late will be able to hear it. And by the way, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Let John handle it, guys. He knows how to verify sources. Stephen Oppenheimer, just don't listen to Texas Bentley. He's paranoid, okay? I don't know. If you're working at that depth, it takes you a while to resurface. Otherwise, you get the bends. Well, I just read an article on these rebreathers, and I think from what I gathered from this is let's see. It's they use a special mix in this so you don't helium. So you don't actually get the bends. Okay. So at least that's what I'm getting from this article. You guys can Google it for yourself. It's called the MK29 rebreather. Let's see. Back to the comments. Hope you are well. Have not seen much of you lately. What's going on? I've been sick the last couple of days. Yesterday I was so bad I couldn't get out of bed at all. I was just laying in bed, practically dead. Today I got out of bed for this live stream, and that's about it. So, let's see. Adam Scott, how's a diver supposed to move around hundreds of pounds of explosives unless it was Rosie O'Donnell? Well, first of all, Adam, from the letter, it makes it clear that they didn't carry around the explosives with them, okay? Now, second of all, moving a large mass of weight around underwater is very easy. So, there's several ways to do it. You can make heavy things buoyant just by attaching like an inflatable balloon. There's all sorts of ways to move stuff underwater. So let's see here. Grim 44. Okay, we're getting to the letter. 1 second. I got to make a quick screenshot because for the first time I have more than 400 concurrent viewers. Thank you, guys. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to, thank you so much. I am going to read this letter again. And the letter came from a guy. He sent his identification to me, and he sent me a photo of him at this exercise. And, sorry. The exercise is, well, I'll just read the letter again. Hi, Mr. Dugan. I write this letter in hopes you might share it. I cannot share the information myself because it will be detrimental to my career and my life. I am sending you this photo as proof I was there, as well as a copy of my identification. You may share this with one other journalist that you trust, but it is not to leave your possession. It is vital you do not share this with anyone else and that you never use this email account again. You may read the letter verbatim as it is written. Quote, I had a leading administration role in the June Baltops 22 military exercises near Bornholm Island, Denmark. I can't give you my exact title because it will allow my identity to be revealed. There are some unusual details involving a group of U.S. Navy sailors from Naval Strike and Support Forces, NATO, strike for NATO in parentheses, who had arrived from Stockholm. While it seemed strange at the time, in retrospect, now things look outright nefarious. I'm confused. One thing I'm confused about is the significance of arriving from Stockholm. If anybody knows what's in Stockholm, other than Obama's prize winnings, let me know. So, let's see. Let me explain. Forgive me in advance if I get any of the terminology wrong. The military of my country may use different words. I can't be specific in my job, but I work coordination dive teams, underwater missions with various militaries in the NATO alliance. On June 15, the day of this exercise, I was coordinating certain aspects of the exercise. I must be vague in this. A U.S. military helicopter carrying a group of men who were supposed to be U.S. Navy anti-mine personnel. They exited, unloaded their gear, and met with both the U.S. Navy Vice Admiral and a group of American men in plain clothes that arrived a few hours earlier. We all suspected this to be some type of intelligence officers. After a short conversation that I could not hear because of the sound of the helicopter, they approached for their briefing. I found it rather strange that they were from the U.S. Navy. My first thought was that they looked like a group of terrorists, not like anybody from the U.S. Navy. The other groups we had from many of the military branches had some sort of standards. Haircuts, for example. Not only did these men have wild hair that would have breached any civilized nation's code of military standards, but they had facial hair as well. As I said, they looked more like Middle Eastern terrorists. None of these men wore identification tags around their necks. The other thing I found odd was that they claimed to be there to search for underwater mines. However, they lacked the equipment for such exercises. Their equipment consisted of the latest Navy-issue deep-diving underwater rebreathers and some small hard case boxes. We call them Pelicans. Their job was to take a rubber boat. Hold on. Where am I? Their job was to take a rubber boat to a predetermined location, search for anti-ship mines, and return to shore with their findings. Usually in such an endeavor, they have long metal detection equipment, but that was absent from their collection of gear. A detail I thought to be very strange here was that while other mine EOD teams wore traditional scuba gear with tanks and such, this group was wearing state-of-the-art helium rebreather helmets and dive suits. Though I have never seen one up close, I'm quite certain these were the Mk-29 systems made for deep dives and to this day remain classified. My country's military wouldn't even be able to afford the helium for these, let alone the suits themselves. These suits certainly would not be required for locating mines that sit just a few meters below the surface. They took their boats offshore. Hold on. They took their boats offshore, not to the area where the simulated mines were placed, but to an entirely different location. My colleague, who was monitoring different team locations, made an offhand joke about how the U.S. Navy had gotten lost and was 2,000 meters from their target location. They exited their boat wearing their rebreathers, and they disappeared under the water for over 6 hours. There is no self-contained underwater gear that I know of that can keep a diver under for 6 hours. With the newest military systems, 3 or 4 max is possible if the diver isn't exerting themselves. After a few hours, we began to get concerned, and we contacted the coordinator for the U.S. 6th Fleet, who assured us everything was fine, they were in contact, to ignore it and not to make any reports about it. After the exercise was over, they returned. Almost all of their pelicans were missing, so I guess the hard cases. They did not stay for any pleasantries. They had a short conversation with the civilian people from the U.S., got on a waiting helicopter, and left. The civilians they were talking to also left, but on a different helicopter. Their mission was marked as completed successful, even though they were not anywhere near the target location. In retrospect, here are my suspicions. The divers met with a small waiting submersible that shuttled them to the area of the pipeline. The explosives required for such an act wouldn't have fit in their gear, so I suspect they were carrying survey and locating equipment that would be used to mark where the explosives needed to be placed. Once they examined the pipeline and marked the proper coordinates, they would have time to examine this data with explosives engineers, return to the site at a later time, and place the required charges to be detonated on a timer or remotely. Thank you. So that was the letter. And the letter is very interesting. So, yeah, I think that they rendezvoused with the submersible, okay? They got on to the submersible. Laney says, why was he watching this group so closely? Well, dude, I think that you have to be accountable for all of the groups. So I don't know what his role was. I'm not going to ask. But, yeah. Let's see. But it makes sense. It makes sense that they would get themselves into a submersible. Now, James Lindsay said, depending on their depth, they would have to make stops for decompression. No? Well, I think with traditional scuba gear, yeah. But, but I think with, from what I read, I think because the, was it helium molecules that they use in these are 6 times smaller, that they dissipate much faster. So, yeah. Let's see. Somebody makes a joke about my shirt. Look, my shirt, in regards to being truly neutral, I invaded Ukraine, and all I got was this lousy shirt. This is actually a dig on the Miratorvitz list, because they claimed, they put me on the Miratorvitz list saying that I invaded Ukraine. Um, and that I was like basically on their list now. So yeah. Um, so I created this shirt. I invaded Ukraine, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. So you know, it's it's really it's a dig at the Miratorvits. So um, let's see. The submersible must look. I don't know the technical aspects of submersibles. I don't know. It could have been a pressurized, like a little submarine. If you remember Hunt for Red October, they had that little submarine. It could have been something like that. Who knows? Okay. Um, I don't know. Let's see. Do. No. Big Bezos said no decompression stops with Trimix. Okay. um. Explorer J says they have tracks in that sea. Trackus? Trackus. What the hell's a trackus? Trackers? What? I'm not sure what you mean, Explorer J. Sorry, bud. Charles Martel said it can only be done by a drone. Oh, trackers. Um, the Z in the sleeve is some Zorro thing. Well, no, the Z in the sleeve is not a Zorro thing. But neither is the Bad Wolf. Yeah. Let's see. They probably have some sort of sonar system. So I don't know. I don't know how any of this works. I don't know the current technology. Um, I don't know. Tikaitsu. Look, I try to be unbiased, but I'm not. I mean, look, I'll tell you straight up that I have a bias here, and I've done videos on this. So, but I try to keep a very objective look at the information. Jittery Hobo says, "Does GPS work underwater?" I don't think so. I don't think so. But I mean, look, if it's only 70 or 100 meters underwater, okay, all you would have to do is if you went to that location, raise a GPS antenna to the surface, right? Get the exact coordinate, and then swim off, and then you just drop in that exact coordinate, and then sink straight down, and you're on top of it. So, but as far as like GPS itself working underwater, I don't think so. All the regions surrounding the pipelines are NATO countries, and the detonations were close, likely guilty NATO participating countries with the U.S. I agree. Resist Ireland says no decompression needed with rebreathers. Thank you for that. Sweden witch hunt for Russian subs. I remember. Military Views says not deep enough for a submarine. Well, we're not talking about a submarine. We're talking about like a submersible, like a mini submarine. That's plenty deep enough. And I think it's deep enough for a regular submarine too. So let's see. The part of the is best observed. I won't miss whale farting. This part of the Neotherm Sea is the best observed part of the world. They wouldn't miss a whale farting. It's very interesting, Blacks. Thank you. Resist Ireland says, yes, GPS works underwater. Really? Okay, well, you learn something new every day. So, tracking in a straight line for a dropped weapon in 300 feet of water sounds iffy. Dropped weapon? I'm not sure. Anyways. Big Bezos said, if a sub goes too deep, it implodes from the pressure. Yeah, but dude, subs can go. Um, well, I know our U.S. subs. I think they can go at least 1,000 meters underwater. I think 100 meters is nothing for them. Absolutely nothing. So let's see. This kind of explosion could be only be done by big packages of explosives, and someone or something had to install these packages on the pipe. I don't think it could be done with a mobile drone. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but who knows? That area is around 40 meters. GPS only works up to 3 meters. Okay. So, anyways, but again, it's not hard to put a GPS antenna onto a float and let it float to the surface, and you take readings from the bottom. That's not a hard thing to do. So, U.S. P-8 anti-submarine aircraft dropped to 10,500 feet after refueling, circling over the area at approximately 0430 hours before departing Flight Radar Sky Glass. Very interesting. Do you have any references for this? I'm just curious. Deep state op, 100%. I agree. Rupert Fellows said they would use plastic explosives. I would imagine so. I would imagine plastic explosives and a shape charge. So, yeah. Oh, let's see. There's a Danish electrical cable next to the pipeline. They cut the power for maintenance the day of the sabotage. Well, that's interesting. That is interesting. Very. So, Balltops 2022 was doing minesweeper drills. Cole Roy said, absolutely, John, bit like a periscope. Jittery Hobo says, Monkeyworks show you that reporting. You can see it on YouTube. Okay, I'm going to go to Monkeyworks. I'll check it out. Explorer J says, no, you don't need a shape charge. Okay. Somewhat off topic, I heard Poland brought up a natural disaster bill, which included a bunch of authoritative measures. Anyone heard of this? I did hear of this. They brought up a natural disaster bill, including like some nuclear stuff. I think is what I heard. I wasn't paying attention. I was kind of lying in bed half dead yesterday when I heard something about this. So I was listening to what I could. Let's see. Russia said they can repair the pipeline. I would imagine they can. Yeah, sure. Question is, will they be allowed to? That's the question. So, anyways, well, guys, I think that's going to be it for this live stream. We've been at it for an hour and a half. I thank you guys for participating. I thank you guys all for the live, for the super chats, and I will be checking my mail to get any more stuff, to get that intro from you, and make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't done it already. Of course, I'm not asking you to lie. If you don't like it, then don't like it. But if you do, make sure you like it. But you can subscribe even if you like it or you don't like it, because, well, you know, you should hear what I have to say. And if you think I'm saying something that sounds like BS, then call me out on it, please. So, because, you know, I don't get all the facts right. I'm a one-man band, and, you know, I'm bringing you this letter before it can be properly fact-checked because, well, I don't have all the resources to be doing everything myself. So I'm relying on you guys to fact check some of the stuff for me, and let me know. And yeah, hit the bell for some notifications. So yeah, all right, guys, thank you so much. Pin your new channel to the top of the chat before you go. Yeah, here is going to be the new channel. Hold up, no. It's going to be pin this message right there. And if you guys want to, send donations, look in one of my other videos in the comment section. For the cup of coffee link, I have a cup of coffee thing. You can send me a cup of coffee wherever it is. But yeah. Matter of fact, hold on. I can send this to you. Maybe. Or maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I do. Right here. So give me a sec. Boom. Boom. Where the hell is it? Boom. There you go. You can buy me a cup of coffee there. And you can buy me a cup of coffee. I put it in the description. So if you guys are interested, it's very helpful. I need all the support I can get from you guys. So now I have to pay for the studio. Well, I'm scared. Maybe Putin will buy me a cup of coffee. You know what? I hate to say it, dude, but Putin's cheap. No, he won't give me a dime. I wish he would. Not that I've asked him, but nobody from the Russian government has volunteered to give me any cash. I would tell you if they did. I would absolutely say, yeah, freaking Russian government fucking forking out mad cash to my channel. Thanks, guys. But they won't. Cheap bastards. What are you going to do? And I get, yeah. Oh, okay. Yo, here's an ad for you right here. All right. So, damn, I should have done the ads earlier. I should have. So, yeah. All right, guys. Let's see. Greetings salutation from the country formerly known as the United States, now known as the United Nazi States of America. Tell me about it, Dr. Ron. Speak truth, brother. It's true, man. It's true. It's a shame what's happening in my homeland. And, yeah. So, Giles Rich. Yeah, I see your comment, pal. Russian troops broke a Redford running 40 km in 24 hours. Yeah. Nice, Giles. Nice, Giles. Hey, warfare is give and take, man. You take. Sometimes you got to give. You take some more. It's okay if he's a troll. I don't care. Because Russia hasn't even started in there yet. We'll see what's up. So, all right, guys. John Mark Dugan, Moscow, Russia. Love you all. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. What does your shirt say? It says, I invaded Ukraine, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. It's a joke to the Miratorvits. They put me on the Miratorvits list saying that I invaded Ukraine. So, yeah. And yeah, welcome to the show, Giles. And Disco, you're right. Time will tell. It's true. So, anyways, John Mark Dugan, I'm out of here. Thanks. Have a fantastic day. And talk to you later. I can't wait to get a new good intro. I'll be checking my email. Yeah.